Hi everyone, it's meteorologist Terry Swails and you're on tswails.com. It is Tuesday and this is your weather briefing. And if I look a little dreary-eyed, it's because the tornado sirens were blowing around here at 3:45 in the morning last night. I don't see any tornado damage around eastern Iowa or western Illinois, but the storms were strong enough to produce some damaging winds. And this was all part of a major severe weather outbreak that got underway yesterday and produced some devastating tornadoes out in parts of Nebraska. One of my chasing buddies, Ethan Schisler, was out there for the storms yesterday, and he got some incredible video and pictures which he'll be passing along to me later on today, so I'll be posting some of those. But a very rare circumstance in that there was two giant wedge tornadoes that were rotating around one another. That's an extremely rare situation. Typically all the energy is tied up in one single tornado. Pretty difficult for something like that to form. But unfortunately for those people around Stanton and Pillager out there in east-northeast Nebraska, the storms did take shape and at least two fatalities. So a devastating situation again out in eastern Nebraska. And our thoughts and prayers go out for those people in that part of the Midwest. Well, today you can see the skies have cleared out around eastern Iowa and western Illinois. So with the sun shining out there, the temperatures are rising and the humidity levels are still high. And that means once again there's going to be a lot of instability around the Midwest today. What you're looking at here are CAPE values, convective available potential energy. We have ways of measuring the strength of the atmosphere in terms of its storm producing capabilities. And today where you're seeing those dark colors across northern Illinois and into Iowa and parts of Nebraska, southern Minnesota, lots of instability exists. And if there's any trigger to get storms to fire, there is going to be the possibility of some severe weather once again. And as a result of that, you can see here the Storm Prediction Center has got out a risk of severe weather that extends all the way through the Great Lakes, right back across Iowa, and then on into the northern plains states. So that does include the Quad City metro area and my viewing area around eastern Iowa and western Illinois. Tornadoes are not likely to be a huge threat today. The wind parameters not overly strong for that, but there is a chance that here and there a strong storm could produce a couple of tornadoes, and as a result of that there's about a 5% chance of a tornado in that brown shaded region that extends from Chicago back through Iowa and eastern Nebraska. As far as wind goes, that's a much bigger threat. Same thing with hail. We could see some hail with this disturbance up to 2 inches in some locations. At least that's what the Storm Prediction Center is indicating out there. So where you see the reds, that's where some of the storms could dump some big hail late this afternoon and during the evening hours tonight. That's going to be the prime time once we get the heating going out there, get a little disturbance to roll through that. The storms, if they're going to develop, would most likely be very late today or sometime early this evening, and that's when a weather watch would be a possibility somewhere around our immediate region. Now again, and this is the simulated radar, and we're looking at 6 o'clock in the evening right here, 7 actually, and you can see the thunderstorms have popped up, at least according to this model, across northern Illinois and back into Iowa, pretty much along and north of Interstate 80. So that's an area that would be of concern, particularly if this model verifies. And you can see eventually the storms sink a little bit further to the southeast and do once again get into the Quad Cities. Now, models have a difficult time forecasting convection, so I can't say this is 100% probability. However, I think the odds are high that another strong line of thunderstorms will kick in late today or tonight with the threat of some high winds, hail, and maybe some isolated tornadoes, although I don't think that's a major concern. What's driving all of this is a strong area of low pressure that's located out over the northern plain states, and we're showing you the 500 millibar chart here. This is the jet stream, and that big circle you see in little blue there, that's where the actual center of the energy is located, and out ahead of that the trough swings in from the west and then shoots up into Minnesota. So that's pumping this warm, moist air into the middle of the country, and with all the instability around, that sets the table for the instability. And it looks like this warm air is going to be with us then as we go right on through the rest of the week. You're looking at the high temperatures for the Quad Cities forecasted off the GFS. A lot of readings in that range of the upper 80s to the lower 90s, and with the humidity levels pretty high, the heat indexes will be up in that range of around 90 to 95. So get set for some air conditioning weather around here. I think there's a real good chance that on Wednesday we'll be up over 90 degrees, perhaps as warm as 92 or 93 if we get a full day of sunshine. So we're into the throes of some summer weather around here with all the heat and humidity we're anticipating the next few days. Along with that will come some showers and thunderstorms. Some of those, again, could be on the rambunctious side. So stay tuned to tswails.com. We'll keep you updated on the entire severe weather situation the next 24 to 48 hours. Meantime, as I always say, roll weather. Thanks for visiting tswails.com.